Problem 1 is factoring a cubic polynomial. Now before we start factoring, let's take a look at this question. It says, how should you group the terms of the polynomial? Well, the suggestion here is that you first group the two terms with the highest degrees. Okay? So if your polynomial is in standard form, it'll be easier for you to figure this out. If that doesn't work, and you start factoring and showing your work, and you find out that you end up not having a common binomial factor, then you have to try something else. But first, we're going to group the terms with the highest degrees. So let's take a look at 8t cubed plus 14t squared plus 20t plus 35. Okay? So let's group these first two, and then let's group our second two. Okay? Now the greatest common factor, this is what we're now, after we group them, we're going to factor out the greatest common factor of each group of terms. Okay? So, for the first one, the greatest common factor is 2t squared. 2t squared. For the second one, the greatest common factor is 5. Okay, so again, when you are factoring the greatest common factor, the greatest common factor gets put on the outside of the parentheses. So we end up with 2t squared times everything that's left. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, and then t cubed divided by t squared is just t. And then 14 divided by 2, that's plus, is 7. And then t squared and t squared will cancel. So that's that. For the second pair, we're factoring out a positive 5. So we're going to put a plus 5 out here. And then we do our division. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. So we end up with 4t. And then 35 divided by 5 is 7. So that's going to be a plus 7. And again, we have a common binomial factor. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to factor out that common factor. Let me just say, rather than saying factor out the common factor, let's say factor out the common binomial. Okay, let's say factor out the common binomial. So that's going to come out, and then we'll put that on the outside of parentheses. That's one of our binomials, 4t plus 7. And then what's left is our second binomial. So 4t plus 7 times 2t squared plus 5. And there's your final answer. And of course, if you need to, or if you'd like to, how can you check it? You can check it using a FOIL method.